friends, Kara here. I'm a hiker who loves to create videos on my adventures while hiking. I have a whole series of the 6 months that I spent hiking the Appalachian Trail. If you haven't seen those, you might want to check those out. And I most recently have been creating a video series about getting back in shape to get back on trail. Hey, real quick, if you like my content and you want to keep watching, please hit that subscribe button. I am trying to get up to 5,000 subscribers, so I would love it and be so honored if you would subscribe to my channel and help me grow. So I really wanted to make a video on something that would have helped me so much when I got started backpacking, and that is how to backpack without spending a ton of money. I know that it can be so overwhelming when you see other people getting all their gear together, or you go to the hiking forums and you see words like ultralight. I know that when I wanted to get into backpacking, I was so intimidated. I didn't know how to get my kit together. I didn't know what bag to buy. I didn't know what I needed to be able to drink water in the outdoors or cook or any of that. So I thought it would be fun to just share some tips that I learned along the way that hopefully can help you get into backpacking if that's something that you're interested in. Okay, the first tip is kind of counterintuitive, but I'll explain it to you. Don't buy anything new. So if you are a car camper, just start backpacking by using what you already have. Now, if you're not a car camper yet and you want to get into it, I'm considering making a video on that. And what I mean by car camping is that you drive up to your camp spot, you pull all of your gear out and you set it up and you camp right next to your car. So if you're already doing that and you already have your tent, you already have your sleeping system, just think about how can I use what I already have when I go more into the backcountry. Okay, my second tip is, and oh my gosh, it's starting to rain a little bit more, so I'm gonna put my hood up. Okay. Okay, my second tip is don't plan long backpacking trips to start. Just do very short out and backs. What I mean by that is when I first started backpacking, I lived close to Red River Gorge in Kentucky, and I found some places where I could park and literally hike like a mile in and camp there. So what I would do is I just took all of my car camping gear and I would park like a mile away from where I wanted to camp, and I would just put the things that I needed in my day pack that I was already using. So yeah, it looked kind of silly, and sometimes I had to carry something in my hand, but I would literally just take my big tent, take my sleep system, and go out and camp like a mile in. I also there were times that I would also just literally pack my hammock, and I would just take my hammock up to like a ridge if it was going to be a really warm night, a clear night, and just put my hammock up and just sleep like a mile out. And that is considered backpacking. You're literally taking your things out into the woods and staying out. I also did this a lot even after I started backpacking when I lived close to Blood Mountain in Georgia, and I would literally just park like a mile away, go up past Neal Gap, up past mountain crossings, and there's a little spot right there that you can camp in. One caveat though, I will say, if you are going to be parking at a very popular trail like the Appalachian Trail, like anywhere around that, you want to check with locals and make sure that thieves have not been stealing catalytic converters before you leave your car overnight. But there are places where you can leave your car that's safe. Just get creative with that and just go out. Just don't, get in your head about it. Just literally park your car, go set up camp, and then you know that you're so close that if anything were to happen, if a thunderstorm started rolling in, if it started getting too cold, you could literally just walk back to your car, but make sure that you carry a headlamp with you. I want to take a moment to share with you something really exciting that I'm working on with my business, Kindred. Folklore Candle Co. is a series of candles that brings the scent of the Appalachian Trail into your home. Smoky Mountain Nights smells like you're sitting around a campfire at night and you're just smelling the beautiful pine trees all around you, you're roasting a marshmallow, and all is right in the world. Appalachian Trail has a clean scent of oak moss and amber, and it just feels and smells like a crisp breeze going through the air on the Appalachian Trail. 100 Mile Wilderness smells deep and mysterious. Just picture yourself walking through a dense forest just covered with ferns all over the ground and really tall, beautiful pine trees. It just encaptures the feeling of that. If you're interested in learning more about my candles, you can go to my website, bekindred.org. That link is also in the description below. Okay, my third tip is slowly build your gear and your kit. as you learn what you like. So I like to say don't spend a whole lot up front, because one, you don't know what you're gonna like or what you're gonna need when you're out there. And two, you don't really know if you're even gonna like it, which I think that you will. If you're watching this video, you're probably gonna like backpacking. But you know, I wouldn't recommend spending thousands of dollars before even knowing if this is something that you really genuinely like and want to get into. And the other thing is, backpacking gear is so personalized. I can literally give you a list of exactly what I use on trail, and there is a list if you want to check it out in the description of this video. But that list isn't going to be exactly what you're going to want when you're on trail, because it's so personalized. You're the one carrying that in your bag. You're the one using it every day if you're on a longer hike. And so you want to make sure that it's the thing that you want, that makes the most sense for you. But yeah, I would slowly start building up your kit. So say that you went out the first time, you did like a mile in, you already ate before you went, and you hiked back before breakfast. So you didn't even have to worry about food or anything like that. The next trip, maybe think about, okay, I want to filter water on this trip. I want to learn how to do my own water filtration. So find a mile out trail that has a creek by it and start doing research about your water filtration before you go out. So you could get like a Sawyer or a BeFree, which is what I personally use. And then you can go out and try to filter your water for the first time. So that's kind of like baby stepping, something that you can do on the weekends as you baby step into like a bigger backpacking trip. And then maybe after you get your filtration down, you want to start working on your cook kit, and you want to start thinking about getting your stove, getting a little pot that you can cook in, figuring out what it is that you like with that. So I would just like baby step your way into buying all of this. And it also helps because you can spread out the expense over like a longer period of time. The fourth tip is borrow gear from friends, or see if you can buy secondhand gear somewhere. So the REI garage sale is wonderful. That is how I got my very first backpacking tent. It was like 50% off or something. I bought literally on a whim when I saw it because it was so cheap and so light. So that's a great way to get your gear. There's a lot of websites online that sell secondhand gear. Social media sites have groups for this. So look into that. And you can also borrow from a friend. So when I was in the Tetons a few years ago, I met a family and they were just so amazing. They had never been camping before, but they had borrowed everything that they had for camping from their friends, from their tent to like a rope that they had to put a big tarp up over to eat their food in, to like their cooler, like, you know, headlamps, sleeping bags, everything they had borrowed from friends. So you might have some friends who have even like old backpacking gear that they've never, or that they haven't used in years. They probably would be very happy to loan that out. You could even offer to rent it from them and give them a deposit or whatever it is. But I would say try to find a way to borrow gear or buy it secondhand or buy it at a discount. And number 5 is don't get intimidated by what other people are doing. Just focus on yourself and have a lot of fun. I know when I first, like my first big backpacking trip was Georgia on the Appalachian Trail, and I think it was 2015. And I got out there and I had like danglies all over my bag. My pack was like too small for what I had carried. And I think I've carried like a new outfit for every day, which was totally overkill for what I needed. But I remember looking at what other people, were carrying, and I got really intimidated. Like, I don't know what I'm doing out here. But really use other people for resources. So if you're on a trail and you see someone who really looks like they have it together, ask them if they can do a shakedown on your gear. Use them as more of like a learning process rather than being intimidated like I was, because really it's a very friendly world. Once you get out on trail, it's a very friendly world and everybody truly wants to help everyone else. And my last little bonus tip is smiles before miles. So go out and have a good time. It doesn't matter if you have the best gear. It doesn't matter if you're crushing miles on the trail. The real important thing is that you're just getting out and enjoying nature. Look at the stars at night on a clear night. You know, go watch a sunrise, go watch a sunset, hike half a mile in, and cowboy camp if you want to, if the weather's nice. But just enjoy it. And remember that that's the most important part. It's not about your gear. It's not about physically like how hard you're crushing it. It's really just about having a good time and enjoying yourself. So I hope that these tips helped. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and happy trails.